Alrighty folks, welcome back to some more Minecraft. How are we doing today? So it's been a couple days since the last upload. I've been going like every other day. It's nighttime right now, as you can see, so I'm trying to get a quick video in here. Last episode I forgot to feed all the aminals, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed all these sheep first, because the sheep are looking a little bit thin at the moment. So we're gonna get this going. I'm gonna feed the sheep, and then I'm gonna use the mace on those cows over there, because I don't get to use the mace very often. So when I can, it's a lot of fun, and I want to give it a shot. Since we do have Windburst 1 on the thing, finally got the Windburst 1 enchantment. Hopefully I don't die right now from the stupid, what is it called? The died from kinetic energy. I've seen that happen too many times, man. It kind of scares me still. One more. There we go. All right. Used an exact number of hay. Beautiful. So let me dive into my ender chest real quick. And then once I take care of these cows, we got to figure out what we're going to do today. All right. Let's see if we can take care of business with this. What do we got? Windburst 1, density 5. All right. Let's see if we can kill off some of these cows. Is this high enough? I wonder. I think it is. Boom. Boom. Let's go. Boom. Boom. Oh my gosh, we're actually... Oh, I forgot. It's knocking them all out. No. Oh, I totally forgot about that, man. It happens every time. Oh, I should have just slayed them out. Now I'm going to have to go to work with the bow. And we are completely stuck in this corner. Are you kidding me right now? Anyways, hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today for me is Tuesday. Yeah, today's... Wait, is today Tuesday or Wednesday? I think today's Tuesday. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh, today's Wednesday. I'm absolutely lost right now. I didn't even realize. Today is Wednesday, okay? I'm my dumbass. So tomorrow is Thursday. So this upload will go up tomorrow morning. I just have to do a little bit of editing on it. Obviously, basically what I do is I record the videos either during the day or at nighttime. And first thing I do in the morning is I edit. It just kind of helps wake me up. I get up, I get a little bit of sunshine in my eyes, I get my electrolytes, and then I sit down and I edit. Just kind of gets me off to like a good start for the day, helps me wake up and stuff like that. So it's nice for my schedule. But yeah, I hope you guys are having yourselves a fantastic week. Almost Friday when this will go up, so only one more day. Let's get you there. Gosh, there's so many. Oh, they all got out, man. Jesus. Where did you just come from, brother? Excuse me? Well, we're gonna have a whole bunch of wild cows around here, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can we roulette them? Will this arrow hit? Will it hit? Oh, it was so close. At least now we got some cooked food on top of that. All right, let's put Mr. Mace away. So anyways, I've been trying to think of a topic of discussion for today. I still don't know what we're going to do like for the actual video yet. I might do a project around the house somewhere. I might try to secure my village, if I'm being honest, the village that's here. I might try to put a fence or a wall around it just for the time being because, man, these villagers, they keep escaping. They keep getting slayed out. It's really annoying. A lot of my, what are they called? My librarians that had books for me, they're all gone. So, like, I'm going to have to breed a whole new set of villagers and, you know, train new librarians to give me books. So, there's, like, a whole lot for me to do here. But, yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll put a wall around the village today. All right, let's get out of there. So, we're going to have to put a pretty big wall around this, if you ask me. It ain't gonna be pretty, but I think we can manage it. So, oh man, it's gonna be a big wall. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. So I gotta get the necessary materials to make this happen. But oh, hey, well, yeah, can you stay in the water, please? And one of them's in my waterfall again. Gosh dang it. It's interesting. This whole area was open at one point and cats were spawning down here. And now that we have filled that area in, we no longer have cats spawning. Just the ones that we have here. And by the way, I need to name the parrot because I saw a hilarious comment a while back on what to name the bird. So I'm going to name the bird today. Let me grab a name tag. I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget. All right, let me get this name tag going. All right, I got the name tag. Let's do this. Ready? Here's the name, baby. Boom, Mike Hawk. Ah, when I saw that comment, I knew it was meant to be. Shout out to whoever it was. I don't remember who it was that suggested the name, but you're an OG for that. I appreciate it. All right, so let's see. What do we got here? I'm gonna tell a little bit of a story type deal here in a second, but first we need to make sure we got walls. So I'm going to need a ton of stone first. Oops, that was the wrong thing. All right, got my handy dandy stone cutter here, which is something I did not know about, but now that we know, this is a beautiful addition to the game, man. I'm really glad that they did this one. It makes it so much easier to do this stuff. All right, let's begin building the wall. So I'm gonna leave my my guys down there out of this build. I don't want to put them in here, so we'll start the wall pretty much right here where the road cuts off, and we're gonna build it around here so that things cannot escape. Now I don't know if there's any villagers or golems down in there, but we'll find ways to let them in if they are, you know, kind of out of the way. So we'll start it right here, and I'm gonna start building this out, and yeah, we're gonna just build this wall around. I'll try to keep it like naturally formed with the earth here, the way that this all kind of like shapes naturally. But I think topic of discussion today is going to be kind of like on the finance side. And, you know, money is something for some reason a lot of people don't like to talk about. And for some reason, it doesn't interest people. And I don't understand why the discussion of money makes people uncomfortable and or like uninterested. Because, guys, everything in the world today revolves around like the monetary system. I mean, that's the entire economy is in the monetary system. And I think it's really, really important that people understand money and like the power of it, first of all, and also how to like save, invest, things like that. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, because I feel like, you know, especially for the younger generation, like when I look at like people, for example, like my cousins, you know, I have some younger cousins and they hear these big numbers, right? They hear these numbers that these YouTubers are making, and they see supercars and all this stuff, and they don't really understand like what it takes to actually earn those things. It seems extremely easy to them because they've never had money of their own, so they don't really grasp, you know, what money actually means because they've never had a large amount of it before. They don't really understand even at this point what things cost, because they just hear these numbers, but they don't understand that there's a tremendous amount of like hard work and dedication that goes behind the scenes. A lot of the times, not always, you know, gambling and stuff like that is different, but they don't understand what it takes, what kind of inputs have to be put in order to output large amounts of money like that. So I think it's really important that we discuss this more often. And so you know, when you're young, like try to remember back to when you were young if you're a little bit on the older side. Like remember when you were a kid and you had 20 bucks in your hand, like you had 20 bucks from a birthday or something. Like that felt like a tremendous amount of money, right? And so like back then, like to us, 20 bucks was a lot of money, but as you know, like with inflation and things like that, and inflation is a term that you should know and understand. Basically, inflation is, you know, the process of your dollar losing value. That's essentially what it is. I can explain that more in depth in a separate video if that interests anybody. Maybe I'll do like a full-length sit-down video on that. But basically, in a nutshell, over time, the value of your money is going down. And the reason it's going down is because the money supply is being inflated. In case you don't know this, money is literally printed out of thin air, okay? It used to be held up, propped up by the value of gold, by the amount of gold that we had, and then it got taken off the gold standard, and as a result, now money can just be printed whenever the government wants to print it. Now, when the supply goes up, what that basically means is every dollar is worth less and less every time they do that. So a lot of people misrepresent what money is actually worth today, because it turns out, like back in the day, you know, $1 million you could have retired on 50 years ago. And now, you know, you're looking at, if you want to retire at normal age, you need to have probably like a bare minimum of like $3 million in the bank. You could even argue it needs to be higher than that. Things are really, really expensive now to live, you know, just in general. So, I mean, I don't know the numbers exactly because I'm obviously not an older retired person. But when it comes to money, you're going to need a lot of it, because with every passing year, the value of your money goes down. And what a lot of kids don't understand is that, you know, something like 100 grand, like they're looking at that going, that car was $100,000, but they don't even know what it means to have $100,000. Let me put this into perspective for you. I made over 3 years anywhere between $13 to $22 an hour at the job that I was working at, okay? My pay fluctuated between those numbers. I got raises, and over a 3-year period, I went from $13 to $22 an hour. I lived at home. The only expenses I had was my car, which was about $250 a month. And, you know, at the end of the day, it took me 3 years of working there to be able to save up with no bills other than the car, to be able to save up 50 grand. Okay, so if you're in like the average world today, like if you're just a guy who, you know, doesn't have a degree, you get a normal job, whatever it is, because that was me. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have much work ethic at all, in fact. So if you were in my shoes at all, you know, the money that you're making, it's extremely hard to save, right? You have to be very diligent about the money that you're making, and it takes a while just to save up to like 50K. You need to also keep in mind that a very large percentage, I think it's actually a majority percentage, is something like 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 in the bank for an emergency. So imagine I saved for 3 years to get to 50 grand, but most people don't even save in a year to get to $1,000. That's pretty scary. This is why it's so important to talk about money with people, because when it comes to it, like the fact that, whoa, we actually have a villager down in this house? Oh, no way. I didn't know there was actually a villager down here. Let's go. See, the problem is because we don't discuss money enough, most people don't really understand the value of money, and that's the big problem. They don't understand how to save, they don't understand how to invest, and so they end up dead broke. They don't even have $1,000 in the bank in, case of an emergency. And that's a really scary thought, especially like for somebody like myself. I can't fathom not having like a bare minimum of 10K in the bank. Like, don't get me wrong, there was a period of time where I was pretty broke, right? I didn't have a whole lot of money. And this guy's definitely trapped down here right now, which I think I'm actually going to leave him trapped. He's got a bed in there, I'm almost positive. I want to leave him down here. Because I kind of want somebody to actually inhabit that house. So I might, since he's safe, think he's safe, I should light it up with torches for him. But I kind of want to leave this guy down here, just for the sheer fact that I can give him a job down here and he won't be able to leave. Definitely got to make sure that this whole area is lit up for him though. But my point of this is, like, if you're young and you don't really understand the concept of money, you don't know what it means, you're thinking about that car that you want really bad, like that BMW or that Audi or that Mercedes or whatever it is that you want to go buy the second you have money, rethink that, okay? Start like listening to people who talk about money and understand investing and things like that. You can't be going out and buying shit like this at a young age when you don't have a lot of money. Like if you're working a normal job and you go like here's an example. I've got a buddy of mine who's been through 3 trucks and he's 27 years old. He bought 3 pickup trucks. The current one that he has was something like $60,000. If you don't know, cars are not assets, okay? They're liabilities because they go down in value. Let me lay this out for you. He was working 3 jobs just so he could pay like his mortgage and his car payment and insurance, because he was paying so much for his car that it was literally to the point where he had to work 3 jobs because of it, because he just, like, his car payment was like $700 a month. Like, let's just think about that for a second. $700 a month. What could you do right now with $700 for the entire month? I want to let you know that the place that I live in is pretty pricey for what it is. I mean, it's a nice place, but it's a little expensive. We pay about $2,000 to live here per month, so my cut of the rent is $1,000 a month. That's what I pay to live, to have a place to live, okay? And this dude was paying $700 for a car that he drives hours and hours a day. That's terrible on gas, just because he wanted it. And most people are going to look at that and they're going to go, what's the problem with that? The average car payment in America is $600. Yeah, and that's why the average person is broke. The average person does not understand the concept of saving, investing, and putting off purchases like that until you can afford to pay cash for them. From now on, every time you guys hear the word payments, I want you to think not a good thing, because payments really are a bad thing. It's to the point today where people are so incredibly broke that they're doing like 4 payments, like four months, 4 payments to pay for a pair of shoes. Like, I'm sorry, but like it's become so normalized that that's like not a problem to most people. Like the fact that you have to pay 4 separate payments over 4 months just to buy a pair of tennis shoes. When people tell you that it is so easy to be like exceptional these days in pretty much any field because so many people are complacent and comfortable and so behind because of the positions that they put themselves in, like financially or with their careers, like that's not a joke, bro. The biggest flex and one of the easiest things that you can do today is pay for things in cash. Like, most people will use a credit card. They don't have the money to pay for this shit. Like, let me tell you another little story here. So I heard the other day from somebody that a friend of theirs who I know, who I've met before, and I got a feeling that he was probably like a big, like BSer. Like he was just like a big talker and he didn't really have much to show for like his life. And then the other day, I was told by the friend that that's exactly what was true. Basically what I found out was that this guy is like living with his mom in a 1-bedroom apartment, like working part-time at like a local store where my girl used to work. And this dude is like dead broke. He lives with his mom in a 1-bedroom. It's like a shithole. And he's in like, I think his 40s. He's always got brand new Jordans on, right? And he's always buying drinks at the bar and doing this and doing that and acting like he's got money and talking about, all these things that he's collecting and stuff. And the dude's dead broke. He's got nothing to his name. And the sad part is there are so many people out there just like this guy. So many people are just broke and have nothing to show for their life because they just didn't understand money. They didn't understand that they shouldn't be buying things that they don't need, right? The moral of the story here, guys, is don't spend more than you make and don't buy things that you want. Buy things that you need, okay? Necessities. That's it. You do whatever you can to save and invest, and once you have a large pool of money because once you invest money, if you have a large pool of it, you don't know how that works. You earn interest and you earn like returns on your money depending on the investments you have. So like, because I don't know how old my audience is here that's listening, but you know, money will make you money. That's the idea. The idea is you want to have enough money to where that money is invested in places that make you more money. So like, for example, right now I have a very pretty low yield, like money market account for my account. Every single month though, that account is bringing me in like an extra $200 to $300 per month, which literally pays my car payment every month. And that's simply because I have a certain amount of money in the bank. And honestly, at some point, I'll probably disclose what that number is just to be transparent and help you guys understand, because it's really hard for me to just make up financial stuff unless I just use my own like life and my own experience. So like I'm okay with sharing numbers. I don't care. Like people are going to hear the number and think I'm broke, and people are going to hear the number and go, how the hell do you have that much money? It's just, you know, it is what it is. And I just realized I probably should have cut that down that way. So I'm going to redo that. But the only reason that I've been able to build up a pool of money like that is because it's simple. I live on less than I make. I can tell you right now, just in the complex that I live in, I could point out to you the people who are broke. Like, it's so obvious to me who those people are because, you know, I see them come home with like whatever it is that they're wearing from work. So I have a pretty good idea of what they do for a living. And like, I look at them and I know exactly what they're paying in rent because I'm also paying rent here. So I know what they're paying for their place. And like, I'm looking at the cars that they drive and shit, and I'm going, I can tell just by looking at you that you're totally broke, because there's no way you live here and you live on that amount of money, right? Like the fact that you're paying that much in rent every month, I could tell, right? That all your money is going to rent and your car payment every month, and you probably got nothing in the bank to show for it. Now, of course, like, I don't know that's going to be 100% accurate, but I think for the most part, I could probably figure that out. Like once you break down the whole idea in your head, once you understand numbers, you understand terms, you understand how money is made, invested, all that stuff, you understand like what money will actually buy you with your given income, it becomes so easy to tell like the people around you, like what they're doing with their money and what situations they're in based on how much money they make and, you know, the cars that they drive and all that stuff. It's so easy to tell who's broke and who's actually doing well financially. Most people will pretend like they got money. That's just the world that we live in today. And so what I wanted to say, like after all of this, because this is just a giant ramble again, of course, like it's got no direction because I'm playing and talking at the same time. But what I want to say is most people will flex online and they will say, oh, I've got all this money, I've got this, I've got that. But you never know, like online really, behind the scenes what's going on. Like some of these guys who are driving supercars, they could be renting these cars because they can't afford to own them. Like there are plenty of celebrities out there. I've seen plenty of clips. Like I saw one recently. I don't remember who the guy was, but he was on with Ashton Hall. He's the guy who does the crazy like morning routine videos that everybody freaked out about with like the face dipping and stuff and like the Saratoga water. Like he was with somebody, I don't remember who it was, and he asked him about his watch. And the guy was open and honest about it. He didn't sit there and lie, which I massively respect. But he's like, what did that run you? And he was like, oh, I'm still making payments on it. And it's like, bro, if you have a watch that's like 50, 60K or whatever it was, I don't know how much it was worth, but it was obviously in the tens of thousands of dollars. He was sitting there saying he's got payments on it. Like, bro, if you got to take payments on a watch, you're too broke to afford that watch. You cannot afford to buy that. Like, imagine what you could have done with 50, 60K instead, right? Like, especially if you're broke, like that dude's probably not broke. He's probably, no way, the villager actually swam? Are you kidding me? Brother, where are you going? You need to stay here. Dude, come on, no way. Oh, I wish I had like a table to put in here to attract him over here. I'll have to deal with him later. Maybe I'll deal with him off camera. What the hell, man? But you know what I'm saying? Like if you have the money to buy that thing cash, great. But like if you especially like if you're gonna buy something cash, you need to have cash in the bank so that you don't buy with cash that one purchase and then you're broke. Like that's the dumbest thing people do is they take all their cash and they buy a liability. At least if you have the cash, go buy an asset. I could get into homes and all kinds of different, by the way, our melons are crazy, but I could get into all kinds of different stories on finances. Like, guys, I'm doing okay financially, I would say. I've got more money in the bank than most people my age, and I still feel broke as fuck. Like I said, I'll share the number at some point, but like just to put it into perspective right now, like to live where I live assuming rent goes up like pretty small amounts every year, I could probably live here for like 5 to 6 years. I would say maybe 5 to 6 years, and eventually after like 6 years I would run out of money, and that's if I didn't make another dollar for those 6 years. Conservatively, let's say 5. So like that's, you know, like that's the safety blanket that you want to have in the bank. You want to have enough money to know that like if anything ever hits the fan, or like if you have any problems, you have the cash to take care of it. Like I said, most people don't have $1,000 in the checking account. So what happens if, like, you know, you get in a car accident, your car gets wrecked and you need to buy a new car? Or what happens if like you have a surprise hospital visit and now you can't afford to pay the bill? This is why it's extremely important to live on less than you make, right? You need to have money in the bank at all times in case something happens. It's just the way it is. And most people don't have it, which is why like you have a ton of people living off their parents still. I could give names. There are so many people that I know who still every single week go back to mommy and daddy and ask for money because they don't have the money themselves to pay for lunch or gas. I mean, like, it's really quite sad when you think about it. Don't be that guy, man. Don't be the broke guy, okay? Be financially responsible. And if you need to learn the basics, what I tell everybody is, like, granted, I don't agree with all of this dude's principles, but one of the best people that you can go listen to about that stuff is Dave Ramsey. Go listen to his show, okay? The Ramsey Show. They do calls every single day about money. Basically, people call in and they say, hey, we've got this problem. We're trying to get debt free, blah, 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 because debt fucking sucks. That's payments. Debt is payments, by the way, guys. So just anytime you hear debt or payments, classify that as off limits. You don't want either of those things unless like maybe you buy a house. That's like the only time it really makes sense. But the Ramsey Show is a great way to learn the basics on finances and money and how to save your money. It really is great. That's how I learned all the basics, and then I kind of developed my own outlook on money and stuff like that. I started to make some investments when I worked. I had a 401k, so I've got some money in there. I bought about $10,000 worth of Bitcoin last year in February, so that money's doubled since then. It's literally over 20 grand now. So like you can start to piece together your things. He's not really a fan of crypto at all, but he'll talk about like the stable assets that you can buy if you want to play it safe, and he'll talk about like how to save properly and where to allocate money and when to buy a house and all those things. I feel like I've just been like rambling here for the 30 minutes. I don't want to like get too off topic with this whole thing. We built the whole wall, so why don't we go take a look at that real quick, because we didn't even look at it. I know this episode is going to be a little bit all over the place with the commentary, but hopefully you guys can like somewhat, you know, make an understanding out of it. And I like to talk about money, so maybe that's a video where I should sit down and talk about it a little bit more in depth if that's what people want to see. But let me know if you could at least follow it. If you made it to the end of the video, a lot of you probably clicked off by now because it was probably boring as hell to you. But let me know if like if it made sense, and you know, if you like talks like this, or if it was too all over the place or what, because I might kind of just try to designate those things for like the sit down in front of the camera discussion rather than over gameplay if it's too hard to follow. So but yeah, we built the wall around the village, so hopefully the villagers will be somewhat safe now. I'm hoping. Obviously we're going to make big time tweaks to this whole thing eventually. I'm going to terraform, and I might build even bigger houses, like kind of expand the village houses and make them bigger. I'm not really sure yet. We got to do something with the farms as well. I want to add more waterways, but for now I think this is good. And we were talking for about 30 minutes, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode right here. This is going to be a little bit shorter of an episode for sure, but I might start uploading again every day just because I kind of just miss doing daily uploads. It keeps me active. It keeps me moving. Gets me moving in the morning. So not 100% sure on that. I got to figure out Oblivion as well. So figuring that out and do PC and stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. All right, everybody take care. Sleep tight. Have a good night. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.